What's going on, everyone? Darkwater here, back in Model Railway Easily. Welcome to the last video in the series, mostly focused on the lower portion of the board. I do a little bit of work on the upper board, kind of tying some things in and giving it a little bit of life with some vehicles and some people here and there. Right here, we're kind of working on the road out of town. And I fight with this off and on for just a little bit here, trying to get it to line up exactly how I want it to. Um, but hopefully you guys have enjoyed the series. At the end of this video, I've got a few cinematic shots of the trains on the board, so definitely stick around for that. So the bottom portion of here is mainly, again, just kind of commercial businesses in town, and a little bit of I've got an apartment building that I add in as well. But finish off the road out of town, and then I start working on the ravine, and I was going to take it underneath there, and then I realized I am on the bottom of the board, and the only thing that happens whenever you go lower is you get water. So I decided to kind of create a little bit of an inlet here. It just runs back next to the cement factory. Change the colors of the paint on the board a little bit, and then I fight with the train because as it's going over, the train track is like immediately on top of the water, which, looking at it, I was not a fan. I just wanted kind of a little bit of an incline up and over the water. And after a little bit of fighting, I am able to eventually get there. As I try and figure out where the other end of the track went. There we go. And so doing just a ever so slightly incline, it looks a little bit better. There's some space underneath between the bridge and the water. So I think it works a little bit better. I think in actuality, that bridge would be a little bit higher, depending on what kind of weather conditions you might have. You would get some flooding of the commuter track. But here I just start to add a bunch of buildings and then start to play around with them a little bit, see what looks good, as well as kind of see what things really line up well with the other buildings and try to keep them rotated a little bit to give it a little bit of variation compared to what's over on this half of the board. So just changing it ever so slightly. Decide to do another kind of outlet back to behind the buildings for parking and whatnot. So I come through with the sidewalks, fight with that for a little bit. There's a kind of a empty space in between the buildings there. I use that as kind of a larger plaza. Do the cobblestone paint and add in trees and some benches in there too. So I thought about putting these together, was going to actually double it so you get a giant building, but then I saw that side is a little bit different colored. So I decided to rotate them 90 degrees, each of them, from the other ones, and then you get this nice larger building. And so I was going to keep it at an angle, but decided it would look better if it was just kind of on the corner. And so I do some cobblestone paint around it and some hedging and just do a little bit of a pathway down to the water's edge so that the people that live there can, just take a nice little hike down and have a nice little walk down by the water. So just do a little bit of touch up on the plaza there and fight with this road and the sidewalk for a little bit. I just do an asphalt pad in the back because I thought it would look a little bit better. Also gives a little bit of area for a little bit of place for people to park. Come through, do a little bit of sidewalk edging there. And again, the cobblestone around the outside of the apartment building. And trying to get everything even here, and it was a fight. I do end up adding some vehicles back here, as well as some people in the plaza. I do scatter people throughout the entire town a little bit, but again, there's only like 6 or 7 different people and a couple, and the number of vehicles is also very small, but it still looks very good. So we add in the trees, a couple benches, and drop a couple people in the plaza. That building that is there on the right hand side, I do end up taking it out and swapping it for one of the other larger buildings that I hesitated on adding back there or adding into the board itself just because it is big, but it actually looks really nice on the skyline. Add a bus, a taxi. I do add a police car here, so we've got a speed trap just behind the apartment complex for anybody to come flying over the train tracks there. I think with the build, if when I run another one of these, I think I would choose a little bit smaller of a board, a little bit more intimate, and do a little bit more layout of the train tracks first. But I really did enjoy the game. I do a lot of tree work here to kind of hide the messy paint job there. But it also kind of ties it back to the area between the lower section and the upper section. I don't do a lot of tree work in between there, mainly because there's a good sight line there. Add another diner, and there's the hotel. I was looking potentially doing that, and that's the building that I thought might just be too big. So I place it over, and it actually looks fairly good. So I take out that one, leave this one, and you got a really nice sight line in there. Add in the church, do a asphalt parking area with that, as well as kind of a dirt lot next to the uh, diner there. Do a several car backup here of people just waiting to get across. I got stuck in one of those today, in fact. So I decided to come through with the asphalt paint because and just do it kind of a spray job just because it again the rectangle it only sits in one position, and so you can't really change the angle of that. Drop the house in up there is kind of just a lone little shack in the woods, and then I saw all the rock work was really high back there, so I dropped that down a little bit and fill out kind of the rest of the open area with a bunch of trees. I do spread them out because that clump was just absolutely massive. Move some of the trees around a little bit. And then the little house in the middle there, I also do a bunch of trees just to kind of keep it kind of like a little hidden shack. And do a little bit of rock work. and then I go through and scatter some people and scatter some vehicles and wrap it up. But I appreciate you guys for being here. Again, stay tuned for some of the cinematics that are coming up next. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the build. If you do, make sure you drop a like. That way I'll keep an eye and potentially do some more in the very near future. And I'll go ahead and see you guys in the next video. And as always, I hope you guys have yourselves a fantastic day.